Now we've mixed this color here, and there are several ways to create a new swatch so that it's stored here in the Swatches panel. One of the easiest ways might be just to come to the panel flyout menu here and choose the color that we've mixed and then say Add to Swatches. And you can see that InDesign instantly adds that to the bottom of the list here. Now for the time being, let's make sure we have this object here, this large rectangular frame selected, and let's revert that to that blue Pantone color, okay? We'll use this green swatch here in a moment. To apply this swatch, go ahead and grab this text frame. Make sure here in the toolbar that we have the frame formatting option selected, that the fill attribute is active, and now we can just scroll to the bottom of the swatches panel and click that swatch. So we've reused that green color on a different object here, this text frame in the middle. We can do a similar thing here at the bottom with this bit of text, again selecting that object and just clicking that green swatch. So the obvious advantage here of defining swatches is that it is easy to reuse a consistent color. Instead of trying to guess which color you used and having slight variations, it's always going to be consistent. Now click off on the pasteboard so that no objects are selected, because now it's time to understand one of the other important aspects of using swatches. That is, if we scroll down to the bottom of the swatches panel and double click this swatch, we'll get the swatch options dialog box. Let's turn on preview so that we can see the results of our work in real time, and we can start playing with these sliders. So we'll make this more of a brown color, and instantly these two objects change. Let's choose this slider, maybe make it more orange. And do you understand what's happening here? Even though we have no object selected, we are still able to easily change their color. Now with just two objects on one page, that might not seem like that big of a deal. But imagine you have dozens or hundreds of objects over scores or hundreds of pages. Instead of having to select each individual object and match the color, by coloring those objects with a pre-designed swatch, you can instantly update all of those objects with just a couple of clicks. Okay, so for now, let's go ahead and click OK. And now we're going to have a little bit of fun working with colors and swatches. So let's make sure that we have no objects selected and grab the rectangular frame tool. And over here on the left-hand side, let's just draw out a single shape at this point. And that will have no stroke and no fill. And come over here to the color panel. Again, choose CMYK from the flyout and just grab any random color. And we can do that a couple of times. So we can draw out another frame, and let's say this green. You can also hold the Alt key on Windows or the Option key on the Macintosh. You can drag copy a couple of these if you'd rather work that way. So grab one of these objects, make one blue, make one pink or red. Go ahead and just experiment with those colors, find a couple of options. Now what we've done is we've used a couple different colors, but notice here in the swatches panel that none of them have been added. So that would be really hard to reuse any of these colors. So to essentially harvest the color definitions that you've created in an ad hoc manner, come up here to the swatches panel, choose the flyout panel menu, and choose the command here that says Add Unnamed Colors. So we've used some colors, but we haven't defined them as swatches. InDesign will find them for us. And here we have our 4 new swatches. Yellow, green, blue, and pink are my examples. And again, because we've defined these as swatches, now they're easy to reuse and they're easy to update with just a single click here in the swatches panel. Now let's explore at least one more way to create new swatches. Again, in the swatches panel, we'll go up to the flyout panel menu. Let's actually first make sure that no objects are selected here and none of my swatches are active. Maybe I'll just set that to none. We'll come up here to the flyout menu again, and you'll see that we have a couple of options. We can create new color swatches. A new tint swatch would be available if I had a swatch already available, and we could make a variation of that, maybe 50% blue or 50% yellow, something like that. We can also make a new gradient swatch, and we'll look at that later. We also have some more advanced topics like mixed ink swatches, mixed ink groups that are also available to you in InDesign. Let's just choose New Color Swatch. We'll go with the basics for now, and this will open up this dialog box. This allows you to mix your colors here, very similar to how you'd mix them in the color panel with a few other options. Again, go ahead and mix a color, maybe a nice lavender, And by default, a new swatch is named with the color value. So InDesign says this color is 36% cyan, 4% magenta, 9% yellow, 0% black, and it encodes that as the swatch name. Some folks think in those values, not everybody does. So you can disable that option and just type in your own swatch name if you'd prefer that. Now in these pull-down menus here, you have a couple of other options. For color type, this is a process color. That's process printing for colors. We also have a spot color option. So to create a Pantone color swatch inside of your InDesign document, choose spot, and then from the color mode, instead of CMYK, you might choose one of these Pantone libraries. For example, you might choose Pantone Solid Coded. Give it a moment and InDesign will pull up that entire library of those swatches. If you want to, you can scroll up and down and find the exact one you want. If there's a specific color that you're looking for, you can just type that value right here. For example, I know that I want to use a really nice red that I've used before, and that's 485C. I can just type that value. It will queue up that option. Now, if I want to add that swatch to the swatches panel and then create more swatches, I can just click Add, or at this point, I'll just go ahead and click OK. And there's my new Pantone swatch 485C.